This week I'm driving the Volkswagen Atlas R-Line 2019. Alright, inside of the Volkswagen Atlas, this is the largest Volkswagen you can get in the Volkswagen lineup. It's pretty new in the Volkswagen lineup. If we go back in time, the Volkswagen lineup used to have the Volkswagen Rutan and also the Volkswagen Touareg. These were, two different kind. And for my question this week, it's really where the Atlas is really in between those two models who's been discontinued. Is it more like the Rutan, or more like a minivan, more like family, all about transportation and on a daily basis it's really useful? Or it's more like the Touareg, a more rugged SUV and with some little touches from Porsche Cayenne? That's my question this week. Is it more like a Rutan or a Touareg? So if you're looking for an SUV in the Volkswagen lineup, the Atlas is the largest one, the biggest one you can get in the Volkswagen lineup. If we look at the design of the Atlas, it's pretty square, that design is pretty slick, all around, it's a great looking truck. I like what Volkswagen did, keeping a little bit more square, giving more like a truck look to this Atlas. Even if this Atlas is not really a real SUV, it's a crossover, it's not a body on frame. It's meant to be easy to drive and also light on the road. The Atlas starts around 37,000, 38,000 Canadian. And the model I'm driving this week, it's a pretty well equipped with the R-Line package, so it's around 52,000. So the Atlas, it's either a 6-passenger or 7-passenger. Depending on the second row, you can get either the captain chairs or the full bench. As you can see, you've got plenty of space inside of the cabin. Really spacious, really comfortable for the second row space, as you can see. You got two optional engine. You got the 2-liter turbo, and this one I'm driving today is the VR6 3.6 liter, good for 276 horsepower and 266 foot-pounds of torque. I'm a big fan of the VR6 engine. I believe though it's not the best option for this truck. I think the VR6 are more performance oriented kind of engine. Large SUVs like this one needs more torque at low RPM. Usually the VR6 perform at higher RPM for horsepower or torque. That's why while driving the Atlas, if you want to really push it, get it going, you get good performance, but you really need to rev that engine really high to get some performance out of it. Usually, large SUVs got tons of torque at really low RPM. I'll make you an example. I drove something larger than this Atlas. It was the Ford Expedition. In the Ford Expedition, you find a V6 EcoBoost. Those turbos spool at really low RPM, delivering tons of torque at really low RPM, around 2,000 RPM, around that, a little bit higher. And that's where you get your get up and go, and that's what you want in these type of large SUVs. I believe a VR6 like this, I think it belongs more in a hatchback or a small car like it used to belong back in the days in the Jetta and the Golf and all that. So it's not a bad engine, but I think, you know, the way it performs, it doesn't belong in the large SUVs like this one. But the model I'm driving this week, it's a little bit different because it's got the R-Line package, so you get that more sportier look all around. You get different wheels and all that. You got some ground effect, so the Atlas looked more sportier, more sport. Interior wise, you know, it's really spacious, it's comfortable, everything, it's easy to find, easy to, you know, live with. It's plain and simple, I could say. The thing is really fancy, and everything is at the place it should be. You know, I like the way how everything is placed in this Atlas. You know, so far, you know, I was looking at the average fuel economy I'm getting. It's around 12 liters per 100 kilometers. It's not bad, but it's not great. Again, you know, at a Ford Expedition lately, I was able to do 9 liters per 100 kilometers, 10 liters per 100 kilometers. These numbers were really impressive for the size of the Expedition, you know, the capacities of the Expedition. Also, the Expedition, it's, you know, body on frame, so it's just more, you know, everything is more rugged, more tough. So for an SUVs with less capacities and lighter weight and all that, getting these type of numbers, it's not great. And again, you know, one of the reasons why I'm not able to get these lower number, it's because you always have to push it a little bit higher in the RPM range, and that takes more fuel. But if you're really easy on the gas pedal, maybe you can achieve some serious fuel economies number. But so far I've been trying hard to lower down my numbers with the Atlas underneath the 12 liters per 100 kilometers, and I was not able to succeed. Speaking of VR6, you know, one of my first car was a Volkswagen Jetta equipped with the VR6. I'm a big fan of VR6 engine. I think they're unique and they're one of the best sounding engine on the road. What's really unique about a VR6, if you don't know what actually is a VR6, the difference between a V6 and a VR6, you know, a V6 can be 45 degrees or 90 degrees, and the VR6 usually it's around 15 degrees. So instead of having two heads on each bank of cylinders, you only have one who just made that engine, even it's a big engine, having only one head and be more compact under the hood, so you're saving more space. It's a unique engine, the way it's built, the way, you know, its layout, the way it looks. I love the VR6, and you know, there's a lot of VR6 you can find all the way through the Volkswagen group, all the way up to the Bugatti Veyron or the Chiron right now. Actually, the Chiron used two VR8s, so I wish this Atlas would have half of the engine of the Chiron. If we come back in the front of the Atlas, you know, again, plain look, you got that fake wood here. It's not bad looking, you know, everything is, you know, as I could say, like classic, you know, everything's at the right place. I love there's a lot of buttons, you know, to control your climate and all that. Heated seats, cool seats, all that, all the goodies. You got a plenty amount of space underneath to put anything you want, your phone or a bunch of things. One bad thing I don't really like, there's no places to recharge your phone wirelessly. That's something I'm really looking into 2019, 2020 models of cars. And also the screen works pretty great, you know, it's pretty clear, easy to use, easy to understand, and you can also put your map in between your two cluster, right in front of you. I really like that, you know. You keep your eyes on the road, you just have to put down and you can see your GPS map in between your RPM and your speed. I love that. If we take a look at the trunk, decent amount of space. You can put down the seats to raise up those seats back. You got those latches on each side. You know, it's easy to use, but I wish for this kind of price, this Atlas, it's around 52. You know, I wish they could have something with power to raise and put down those seats like you find in most other SUVs. These lashes can be easy to use, but if someone throw them away, it can be a kind of nightmare to put back your seat up. So if we step in the back, you know, it's really easy, you know, to put down or just lift those seats to get access to the last row. Obviously, like most of these you know, 3 rows SUVs, the last row, it's really for kids, really small skinny person, not for an adult. You know, in the middle row, you know, you can be really comfortable adult size of human. But you know, in the last row, it's practical, but it's not a real last row. You can take all your adult friends for a weekend getaway. So overall, you know, the Atlas, you know, behaves more like a minivan, more like a Rutan than the Touareg. The Touareg was really a rugged, hardcore off-roader. It was really, you know, kind of like the cheap version of a Porsche Cayenne. But this Atlas, it's really more like the new generation of minivan. And there's a lot of these type of new SUVs on the road. You know, there's also the Kia Telluride, the Hyundai Palisade. There's again the Acadia, the Traverse. There's the new XT6 from Cadillac if you need a little bit more luxury into your life. So there's a ton of these 3-row SUV minivan liked. So there's plenty of choices, you know, for the style you want. If you want something more rugged, more off-road capable, or if you need something more luxurious like a Cadillac XT6 coming soon on the market. So you know, again, what I really believe for the Atlas, it's really made for young families, or for moms, you know, the typical car to, you know, to go to the soccer game. That's really what it is. It's easy to drive. The steering wheel is really, you know, smooth. For me, it's more disconnected. You know, I need something rougher, steering wise, feeling wise. But you know, my fiance Eve drove it and she found it really easy to use, easy to park, easy to go back with it, you know, on the road, the steering wheel, all that. You know, it really pleased, you know, the feminine side of the market for the Atlas, and I think it's a big plus, you know. And you know, while I was test driving this Atlas this week, I got tons of message from moms with their families. You know, they have like 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. They're really interested into the Atlas. You know, it's their friend they love. They used to have like a Volkswagen Golf, and now they want to step up into the Atlas. So that's really interesting. And I think everything, you know, how it's designed, how it's simple and easy to use, and it's not difficult driving this just like a Expedition or a big Yukon. It really pleases these type of people with young families. You know, it's really met for these type of customer. From my point of view, you know, I need something more rugged, more off-road capable, more power. But you know, I can see the type of customer buying this Atlas, and I think it can be a really good choice for these type of customers.